In 1950, a physicist walked into lunch and asked one question. It was not a lecture, it was not a paper, it was a remark over food. Nobody has answered it since, and it has only got harder every decade. Guess what the question was? Where is everybody? 4 words. And the reason it will not go away is that the numbers keep making it worse. Every discovery since then has made the silence louder, not quieter. Start with what we actually know, because none of this needs speculation. Our galaxy has hundreds of billions of stars, and there are hundreds of billions of galaxies. Most stars have planets. That was a guess in 1950. It is a measurement now. Guess how many of those planets are roughly Earth-sized and in the right temperature range? Billions in our galaxy alone on any reasonable estimate. And the galaxy is far older than the Earth. There was time for others to start first. Not a little earlier, billions of years earlier. The usual objection is that space is too big to cross, and that objection is wrong. Take a ship that never exceeds a small fraction of light speed. Send it to a nearby star. It arrives, builds 2 more ships over a few thousand years, and sends them onward. Guess how long it takes that pattern to cover the entire galaxy? A few million years, possibly less. That sounds enormous until you compare it to the age of the galaxy. It is less than 1/10 of 1% of the time available.
So the silence is not explained by distance. Distance had plenty of time. Every explanation anybody has offered lands in one of 2 boxes. Either nobody else is out there, or somebody is, and we are not detecting them. That sounds like a coin flip. It is not. The 2 have very different consequences. Guess which one should worry you more? The first one, and it is worth understanding exactly why. If we are alone, something stopped everybody else, and that something is still out there. There is a name for it, and the name is not comforting. The idea is called the Great Filter, and it is disarmingly simple. Somewhere between dead chemistry and a galaxy-spanning civilization, there is a step almost nothing passes. It might be the start of life, it might be the jump to complex cells, it might be intelligence or technology, or surviving your own technology. Guess why the location of that step matters so much? Because it is either behind us or ahead of us, and those are opposite futures. If it is behind us, we are the rare ones, and the galaxy is ours to walk into. If it is ahead of us, then everybody who reached our stage stopped shortly afterwards. Same evidence, same silence, 2 completely opposite readings. Following that reasoning gives the most counterintuitive conclusion in the whole subject. Suppose we land on Mars and find simple life that started independently. Most people would call that the greatest discovery in history, and it would be. Guess what it would also mean?
That starting life is easy, so the filter is not at the beginning, which pushes it later towards steps we have already passed or have not. The more common life turns out to be, the more likely the filter is still ahead. Empty is good news, crowded is not. That is the single strangest sentence in modern science, and it follows from arithmetic. The second box is the one where somebody is out there and we're simply not seeing them. Perhaps they are quiet on purpose, because announcing yourself is a risk. Perhaps they are not using anything we would recognize as a signal. Guess how long we have actually been listening properly? About 70 years across a tiny slice of the sky on a narrow range of frequencies. Compared to the age of the galaxy, that is less than a blink of a blink. Somebody described it as dipping a glass into the ocean and concluding there are no fish. The silence might be real, or we might simply not have looked yet. The honest position sits between the 2, and it has produced real work. Telescopes now measure the air around planets in other solar systems. Certain gas mixtures are very hard to produce without something alive making them. Guess what that means for the next couple of decades? For the first time, the question stops being philosophy and becomes an instrument reading. We may get an answer, and it may arrive without any drama at all. A line on a graph from a planet nobody will ever visit. A question with no answer is still worth something if you take the right thing from it. The useful part is not the aliens, it is the shape of the reasoning. Somebody noticed a gap between what should be true and what is observed. Guess what most people do with a gap like that? They pick the explanation that feels best and stop. The people who made this subject worth anything did the opposite. They listed every possible explanation, including the ones they hated, and kept all of them. Then they worked out which measurement would kill which one. That is the whole method, and it works on anything, not just the sky. The silence has not been solved, but the way people are failing to solve it is close to perfect.